Hey, Chef Austin with EverythingKitchens.com. We're your source for countertop appliances, cutlery, and today, air fryers. We've got our top air fryers up here, and we're going to take a closer look at each one of these so you can find the perfect one for you. First up, we have the Delonghi Multi-Fry Multi-Cooker. So this is a multi-cooker. Not only can it air fry, but it does so many other things. So the best thing about this multi-cooker is its removable pan and its paddle right here. So this paddle is actually going to rotate and turn your food around. That's one of the things that they don't tell you with most air fryers, is that you're going to have to toss your food around as you're frying so you can get an even fry. That's where this paddle comes in handy. It's going to turn your food, your french fries, whatever you're cooking in here, all the way around so it has a nice even crisp all the way around the entire piece of food. The other cool thing is that this paddle can be used for stir fries, it can be used for risottos, and it's even completely removable if you don't need it in your recipe. And that slides easily back in here. The Delonghi is a very lightweight unit. It doesn't weigh too much. It's easy to take on and off of the counter, and it has even some nice suction cup feet on the bottom to keep it steady while it's cooking. Next up, we've got the Cuisinart Air Fryer Toaster Oven. So as its name implies, this is more than just an air fryer. You also get all the functionalities of an awesome toaster oven. So this is basically a tiny oven that you can put on your countertop and use as a secondary oven. So you can bake, broil, melt cheese, whatever you need to do in here, it's going to do it along with air frying. Down here, we've got a bottom rack, and this is going to be big enough to put an entire pie pan on. You can roast an entire chicken in this thing, so there's a lot of space in this air fryer toaster oven that you can work with. And then up here, we've got the top rack, and this is the rack that you're actually going to be air frying on, is rack number 2. So it's got a nice wire basket so you can get airflow underneath here, so everything gets just a little more evenly crisp. You're still going to have to toss your food around in this. It is still recommended. So, and that slides back in here. The only qualm that I have with this is that you only have a little bit of clearance for your air fried food. So you're not going to be able to fit an entire piece of bone-in chicken on the top without actually hitting the top elements on here. So that's my biggest complaint about this, is that you can't do bigger pieces of food. But other than that, the Cuisinart Air Fryer Toaster Oven is really, really nice quality. It's got a glass door right here, all stainless steel build. It looks beautiful on the countertop. This is something that you can leave out. Last up, we have the Phillips Viva TurboStar Air Fryer. This is the granddaddy of all air fryers. It was one of the first ones that ever came out, and you can tell it's kind of got a slightly out-of-date design compared to our other ones that we've shown you, but it will still get the job done. Very simple design. We've got a temperature gauge up here, we've got the timer right here, and it even has a quick guide of how to air fry your foods, time and temperature on the side. You don't even have to get the manual out. It has a slide out drawer, and this is going to look more like a traditional deep fry basket. It's very deep in here, so you can stack a lot of food in here, but you're going to have to toss the food around quite a bit to get an even fry. So if you want to do fried chicken, you definitely can. You can set them in there. You can actually fill this up to the very tippy top of this. It says the max fill line is at the top. The other ones can't really do that. So you can air fry some very tall foods in here. The Phillips also has a smartphone application that has tons of recipes to choose from. You don't even have to get the cookbook out if you've got your smartphone on you. We're going to put these air fryers to the test. We're going to make french fries in each of these, air frying them, and we're going to do a side-by-side taste test comparison. All right, all of our potatoes have been air fried. We're going to take a look at each of these air fryers to see how they did. So here's Delonghi's french fry. We've got a nice golden brown on top. We'll turn this around, and it gets a little lighter on the bottom, so a little bit of unevenness around here. You can kind of see that on the rest of these two. Some of them are a bit lighter, some of them just a little bit darker. That's okay. I like when my french fries have different textures. They're not all exactly the same, which is totally okay. it looks like the Delonghi could do about 14 ounces of raw potato on the bottom, which is about 2 medium potatoes. So it's a good amount. I would say this would feed about 3 people comfortably for sure. It took 34 minutes for start to finish raw potatoes to French fries. So let's take a taste test of one of these and see how it did. So the French fry tastes really good. It has a good all-around crunch. Even on this lighter part, it still had some crunch. The taste is great. The interior texture is very moist. So that's really good because French fries, when you're making them homemade, can get really, really dry if you overcook them. So I think the Delonghi did a great job. This is Cuisinart's French fry. You can see it's got kind of an ombre effect. It's got dark on one side, kind of a lighter on the other side. I'm going to flip him over. And you can kind of see the same pattern. It's a little bit of an uneven French fry. The instructions actually told us to just let these sit as they cook. It said don't toss them. It just said to let the air fryer basket do the job. And you can kind of see it's a similar pattern throughout all the French fries. You got some really light ones, you got some darker ones, and we'll look at another one real quick. You can kind of see that some of these did an okay job where it's pretty even throughout the French fry, but some of them not so much, like this one over here, very, very light on one side and then completely dark on the other side. So let's do a taste test and see how this French fry turned out. So French fry tastes pretty good. It's got a little bit of a burnt flavor, like it got a little too dark on one side. It's not bad, but I mean, the interior is still nice and juicy. It's not like really dry and crunchy. It's a decent French fry. Not my absolute favorite, but it did the job pretty well. And the Cuisinart actually had the most French fries in its basket at 18 ounces, which is about 3 medium-sized potatoes. And it took the shortest amount of time of just 15 minutes from start to finish. Last up, we had the Phillips French fry. The Phillips French fry looks like probably the most even out of the 3 as far as color goes. You can kind of see that all of them have a nice brown exterior with a little bit of light, so it's not overly dark, but it's not overly light either. So I'm surprised because there wasn't any stirring mechanism or anything like that in the Phillips fry basket. We did have to manually toss halfway through. That's what the instructions told us to do. So I'm going to do a taste test of this one and see how it is. So the Phillips fry, it tastes great. It's a little bit drier than the rest of the French fries. The overall crispiness is there. It's pretty tasty, but the dryness is just throwing me off a little bit. Maybe if we cooked it just a little bit less, that might fix it, but that also might not have it get as brown. So the Phillips had the smallest amount of room for raw French fries at 9 ounces, which is maybe about a potato and a half, and it took around 25 minutes. So the instructions say about 18 to 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, that's where this best color looked. Out of all 3 air fryers, I'm going to have to say my top pick is going to have to be the Delonghi. I think it had the best tasting French fry out of all of them. It was kind of the Goldilocks. It had the right texture on the outside. It wasn't dry in the middle. It was nice and moist still. It didn't have the most even color, but personally, I don't care about that. I think it tasted great. So guys, if you have any questions about any of the air fryers that we featured today, you can leave them in the comments below and we'll get those answered. If you want to see more air fryer information, you can check the link in the description and you can see all 3 of these air fryers on our website on everythingkitchens.com. If you like this video, be sure to give us that thumbs up and like us, and be sure to subscribe for more chef unboxing videos and chef reviews.